My username is xxezrabxxx, but most people just call me Ezra. So, and then I'm a Super Mario 3D World speedrunner. I've been doing it for about a year now, year and a half. And my PB is currently 1 hour 45 minutes, and I hope to entertain almost all of you watching here with this run. And I hope that I do a good job. I have Pretends to Know with commentary for me, and he can go ahead and introduce himself if he wants to.
Hello, I am Pretends to Know. I have run this Super Mario 3D World off and on for 2 years. I mostly run 100%. However, though, there's enough similarities that I feel qualified to talk about any percent as well.
Alrighty, so I guess we can get started pretty soon. I guess I'll count myself down and we can get started. Alrighty, you ready for countdown? Alright. 5, 4, alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, begin.
Okay, so the first change between
you can just take it away.
Oh. Yeah. Starting right off, we're gonna start out as Luigi and pick up one of the most broken items in the game, a cat bell. The cat suit. The most broken thing in this game is the physics, and the cat suit is the item that can take advantage of it the most in RTA categories. Ezra's going and getting green stars because in order to beat the last level of the game, you need 170. And that we're going to be rolling through these, well, jumping through these levels as fast as we can.
That's already the first level down. Oh, and I forgot to split on my end there. So yeah, we're already off to a really good start. Let's hope we keep it that way. As you can see, a lot of this, the mechanics of this game are broken. You can go really fast, really quickly, and yeah. So a lot of this game is going to be taking unconventional routes and quick methods to get through certain parts of this game.
Ezra, are you there?
Yep.
What we missed there is Ezra got the 2 stars, and he's going to throw this shell so he doesn't have to get the go down and get the third one. And this red pipe's going to let us skip the rest of World 1 because we don't need it.
Sorry if it cuts out every now and then. So now we're already in World 2, and you can go ahead and just talk freely.
Okay, so we've talked about that we can gain a bunch of speed really fast. A brief talk of how we do it is there is a glitch in the crouching where if you jump out of a crouch fast enough, you will get acceleration. And so it's not quite frame perfect, but it's pretty close. The other thing is the second form of moving really fast is called vectoring, which is you jump at a 45-degree angle, and that gives you that gives you acceleration as well. The fastest way we know of to move in this game at this point is to combine those two together. And you can, in open spaces, you can accelerate like in less than 5 seconds to beyond normal speed. Oh, I think we lost Ezra again.
It is completely uncapped. Ah, I have no idea why that happens.
Yeah.
Let me lower my bitrate like a ton.
Yeah, that is one thing I forgot to mention.
I'm so sorry. This.
Oh.
It's completely uncapped too. There's no limit.
Yeah, there is no limit on the speed. So I guess another thing to talk about really quick while we're doing the introduction is the characters. In the Wii U version of this game, everyone had some uses. And this game, it is like 90% Luigi because his particular physics work best for this. We will occasionally see Peach because she has a float and it can carry acceleration in it. And Blue Toad will show up in levels that require just actually running because it's such tight spaces. And that's where he excels at the most. Mario only shows up in 380 star because he has a stamp in that level. Otherwise, he's just a not as good Luigi. So expect to see
He's all around balanced, and that's completely useless in any percent.
Yes. And then I guess the other thing.
Oh, as you saw there, one of the consequences to mistiming the crouch boosting trick is that you might ground pound or long jump, and that's one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why it's really hard to do. Most runners are not going to do that trick, but I do because and I kind of screwed that up there. Another thing to mention is fireworks. You want to avoid fireworks. You get fireworks. It's kind of like in the original Super Mario Brothers. Fireworks happen when you get a 1, a 3, or a 6, and you lose about half a second for fireworks. So you want to avoid getting a 1, 3, or 6, kind of like in Super Mario Brothers. And another thing to mention with the flagpole, unlike Super Mario Brothers, the bottom of the flagpole is the best. Although the top of the flagpole is faster if it's the fastest thing to get to, like in 2-1. But otherwise, you want to get as low as you can.
So this is our first mystery house. The goal in this one, mystery houses are little mini games, and that you complete. This one, it's combat. So you do it, and one thing to note is one thing Ezra is doing is he's pointing the touch cursor, which we haven't really talked much about yet, at the star. And the reason he does that is it makes the star spawn like a second fast. Well, when the star spawns, it makes it grabbable like a second faster, and it saves like. It adds up over a long run over stars that you have to spawn to gather.
It doesn't save that much time, but if it's easy to do, there's nothing wrong with going for it. Like in the sub levels here, you want to do that. They do definitely help. And you can use them to insta-kill these Goombas instead of hitting them twice, and that saves a lot of time too. You get that over with already.
Yes.
So the next level we're going to use Toad for, and that's because in 2.5, this level is actually not going to be very demanding when it comes to what kind of movement I need, so Toad overall is just going to be way more optimal than Luigi. Luigi is still good, but Toad is just better.
Also, when it comes to crouch boosting, uh, we're picking up an item here called the double cherry for the first part of it, and vectoring can sometimes make the clones do uncooperative things. Oh, Ezra, can you hear us?
Yes.
So yeah, and then that star right here shows off the power of the cat suit and also one of the switch upgrades. Uh, because you can just climb up that high and grab the star instead of needing to bring along a bunch of clones to do the platform.
Yeah, that's what the intended route is. But as we said, a lot of this game is going to be taking unconventional methods and routes to get by. And that's just one of the things. They didn't really speedrunner proof this game at all, from all I could tell, because there's so much in this game that we take advantage of that it's honestly just kind of crazy to think about. It's like, how do you miss this kind of stuff? But they did, and we take advantage of it, and we go faster, and it creates more entertainment too. So this is an auto-scroller level, and because this is an auto-scroller level, we have time for some donations. So do we have any donations?
We do. We have a single donation from Arkun, who says, for those saying vegetables don't belong on pizza, they just haven't had a good vegetable pizza. Since there isn't a vegetable pizza incentive, put this towards the MM2 Glitch Expedition. Thanks a lot, Arkun.
Yeah, thank you for that donation there. And as you can see, I got the cannon here. And that's because I'm going to need it for the third star in this level, so hopefully I don't screw up beforehand and lose it. Otherwise, I can't get the third star and I will need a backup. If I was running 380 or 243, I would have to have that star, and I would pretty much have to reset if I didn't get it or redo the level, which loses tons and tons and tons of time. Which leads me into another thing. A lot of this game is... the time that you're going to get is completely based on how well you do. There's pretty much no RNG in this game. It's all movement-based, skill-based. There's no deciding factors on what you do. How well you do will correlate to what time you get, and not specifically whether you got good luck or anything, because there pretty much is no luck.
I agree. Also, here's our first boss, the Boom Boom. If you've played Super Mario Bros. 3 or know what the speedrunners think of him, we pretty much think the same thing. We just gotta, you know, get out of his way. And then, thing of note to him is the first 2 hits, you want to hit the top of his head because you get a faster animation. And when he comes out of his shell this third time, Ezra's gonna go for a front hit. And that's because that animation is faster than the head animation. And that will take us out of World 2.
And another thing to point out is I intentionally took damage to lose the...
Yeah, he intentionally took damage to lose the... I think he dropped out there, Ezra. He intentionally took damage to lose the helmet because... it loses time to take it to the flagpole.
Yeah, because it will give me an extra life, and it will take a second to give me an extra life, and I don't want to. I don't want that. I prefer gaining that 1 second. We've got plenty of lives anyway, because over the course of time, you're gonna collect coins and all of that stuff. You're gonna collect extra lives, and. Alright, now this is going to be one of the most impressive levels in my opinion due to the ice glitch, and I will just let Pretends explain it. He knows it.
Okay, so the reason we picked Peach is because without the with her float does the best. It's this just a programming thing they've never fixed. If you are spam crouch while on the ice, you will gain at exponentially faster speed, not capped, and like what Ezra showed us. I mean, the only reason that was as fast as he went was because that's as much space as he had to work with. You can go way faster.
It's like, that's not, I'm only mashing with one finger there. If I use like 3 fingers and I didn't need to cap how much I could go, I could literally like fly out of this level, like literally out of bounds. And I've done that before.
Yeah, I never tried it on the Switch, but I know
because it's incredibly.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if anybody's done it.
It works on the Wii U too.
Yeah, I know on the Wii U somebody's flown so far out of bounds they got out of all the death zones.
Yep, I've done that.
So
okay.
this
little trick here, I could use the touch cursor to pause this little rotating thing right there and just climb up that wall to get the star using the cat suit. And there is actually a trick to get this faster here, but I don't know how to do it, so I'm not going to go for it.
Yeah. They attempted
for that second star there.
Yeah, it was much easier on the Wii U version. They attempted to patch it for the Switch release, and we thought it was successful, but a while ago we just figured out that they just made it a lot harder.
So for star 3 here, it's another one of the unconventional ways to get up there. There's a couch you're supposed to ride that's right here, but we don't ride that couch. Instead, we just climb up the wall by gaining a lot of speed to get the height. So there's some more unconventional methods of navigating through these levels and getting them faster than intended.
Yeah. For now, though, we are going
these next levels are going to be very linear.
Yeah. And
we're going to go to Captain Toad. They're very linear. Not much you can do.
Yeah. Captain Toad has one trick, and it's called corner cutting. It'll come up a couple of times, but it only saves like a second or two, which honestly is basically what it sounds exactly what it sounds like. If you you can cut across a gap at a diagonal, and occasionally it'll cut out a little distance here and there.
And he can't jump, so if you're wondering why I'm not doing that, it's because he literally can't. So, and one more thing to keep note of is that while mere second time saves seems really good in a speedrun, as a lot of them will do, like going for 4 or 5 second time saves, as I said, as this game is completely movement based, you will see a lot of mid-tier runners, I don't know how you would define that, not go for insanely difficult tricks or go for really complicated movement, as it's really not worth the effort, as like dying can lose upwards of 2 minutes depending on the level. It's just really not worth the effort going through.
I think mid-tier runners, if you're generally what separates them is if your main form of movement is still cat momentum. I say
without
that as
the crouch boosts is what
as somebody who still uses a lot of cat momentum, I say that as nice as possible.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with not going for the most complicated movement, as I'm not even going for the most complicated movement. If you watch the world record of this game, which is like an entire 10 minutes faster than mine, like 15 minutes faster than my PB, you will definitely see a lot of crazy movement. And another thing to point out is I didn't collect every single star in this level. That's because there's 243 stars in the first 8 worlds, but you only need 170 to beat the game. So that means I can just straight up not collect the ones that are optimal. As for the 3rd star in this level, I would have to go up that cloud over on the left and go through an entire, like, pretty much an entire cutscene. Or the equivalent of it to get that, and it's just not necessary.
Yeah, we get to cut out the slower levels, and then within the levels we do still do, we still have room to cut out some of the slower stars. Yeah. So this next level is a water level, and what that will enable, and basically like most Mario games, swimming is kind of eh. I guess a fun trivia fact is in the Wii U version of the game, if you built up speed and then jumped in the water, as long as your character didn't touch the ground, and when they got out of the water, if you jumped fast enough, you would keep all that, you would still have all that speed stored. Uh, that is one thing Nintendo did patch is used to momentum would carry through like almost anything except for walking, and including like warp boxes and pipes, and that is no longer the case.
Yeah, there's no momentum preservation in the Switch version anymore. And there used to be, if you go look at the Wii U runs, you will notice that difference. But overall, what was changed in the Switch version was the movement overall is way faster than it used to be. So it's kind of it's a loss that we can accept.
Agreed. Like
Although we would still like it, because it's a...
yeah, like even with the physics in this version of the game are so much more broken that like the difference between world record is like 5 minutes between the Wii U and the Switch version.
7 minutes.
7 minutes, and it's in the Switch version's favor. Plus, with the fact they patched out of bounds in World 8.
Yeah, and the fact that they made cutscene skips possible. So, alright, here's one of the here's a trick that I'm gonna go for that most runners will not do. I'm going to be skipping this entire first rail by jumping all the way over to this pipe, but I'm not actually going to go in the pipe as it's the first star and I don't need it. Instead, I'm just going to be going all the way over here. And I'm going to skip pretty much all of this level. I'm going to do the whole thing unintended. And then I'm going to get off this rail, I'm going to jump off of it, and I'm going to fly all the way down to this third star, and I'm just going to dive the whole way down and hit the flagpole and beat the level. And that's all we need to do. Whole thing skipped. That's how crazy that this game can get.
Yes. Of course, we're not done doing crazy things with Peach yet, because we also got the next level coming up, which would normally be an auto-scroller, but I'll let Ezra show off what's about to happen.
So, I'm not going to go too extreme on it, but because as you can do it more later, but there's 2 trains in this level, you know what I'm talking about if you played this game, and you'll see them in a second. But with the kind of momentum that we're able to get, you're actually able to hop across these 2 trains and pretty much make the auto-scroller function redundant. As I'm going to do in a second.
Yeah, when you switch trains, it forces the auto scroller to move forward. Let's see here. Ezra's black.
Oh, that is unfortunate. I hope that we'll have Ezra back here shortly. Everybody just give it a few moments here to see what happens, and hopefully everything will be all right.
Yep. Now I'm still here. But yeah, what should be happening right now is, I guess Ezra should be figuring that out. But um, uh, Peach can float between.
Time just from dying there. That's one of the big consequences of this game. Now, another small time save is I'm just going to straight up destroy this box with the gyro cursor here, or the touch cursor. And I'm going to hold it right there. As you can see, I clicked the start instantly to save time. And I accidentally took some damage there. Hopefully, I don't die. And you can actually get this pom-pom hit a lot faster, but because I don't have a cat suit, I'm not going to go for it. I could just dive forward for it. And it's pretty much random when this comes out. There's actually a way of telling, and that's by which more has white sparkles, but it's very hard to tell. And it's the same thing with the Boom Boom Bite. Scratching right in front of it is going to be faster than hitting in its head, but because I don't have a cat suit anymore, I cannot show that off. And another thing is, because I'm small, I cannot. It'll give me a mushroom instead of a cat suit, so I'm going to intentionally die next level as soon as it begins to get back, become big again, and that's another thing. We in the speedrunning community call it seppuku, which is the Japanese term for honorable suicide, although that's not actually what we're doing. We just call it that, and I accidentally went back to the home menu. And another thing you might have noticed is that while we were using the cat suit, we had to wait on the flagpole a bit. That's because you can climb on it with the cat suit, and waiting for you to do that. Although when you do not have the cat suit, you instantly touch the flagpole, and that saves time. However, switching to a different power-up to save that time is slower than actually just if you just hit the flag. So now this is the other boss fight. I'm going to switch to Luigi for this because this level has a pretty big exploit in it, and I'm going to intentionally take a death there to... So there's a pretty big exploit in this boss fight that we can take advantage of to completely make all of it pretty much pointless. We're going to make this boss fight look like a complete joke. I'm going to ground pound, and I'm going to do an Odyssey dive, which was added in the Switch version only, taken from Odyssey. And I have enough height to completely bounce on top of its head, instead of using the plates or the other guys that will appear that you use it regularly for. I completely make this boss fight pointless by using that trick. And that's an exploit that's always been known since the game came out. But is very, very useful. And I'm going to avoid that timer because that timer will give me 100 extra in-game seconds, which correlates to 50 frames lost in this game, which is... it's 5/6 of a second, which is it's better to just avoid that.
None of these levels are.
So that's some interesting details that you wouldn't catch just watching it on your own. So I can pass it back to Pretends now.
Yeah. So this next level coming up, we're entering World 4. It is one of the only intentional damage boosts.
Not really much to talk about here.
Yeah.
I picked the wrong
Yeah.
character, but Luigi's still fine.
Luigi can still do it all. Yeah, normally you would use Peach because she has her float can reach where it needs to go, but as long as Luigi scratches fast enough, he can actually reach almost as far. That's actually one of the reasons why Luigi in the Wii U version, Peach is a lot better than in the Switch, is because in the Wii U version, the cat scratches aren't.
And taking damage there is just kind of something that happens. It's not really so you can avoid it, but it's difficult. So then most of the time you're going to take damage there.
It's also slower. But yeah, in the Wii U version, Peach was a lot better because the cat scratches didn't carry as far as they do in this version of the game. So in this version of the game, characters can travel a lot further.
In this level, there is a roulette that we can get our cat suit back, but it's not guaranteed. You have to time it just right. I think there is a way to time it, but there was a way to time it in the Wii U version, but that method's not really worked for me in the Switch version. So we're going to be doing some camera turns to use our touchpad to get these things, these little piranha plants, the way we want them to, get them out of the way. And we can do that. It's pretty hard to simultaneously do it while
if you want
moving, but some people are better at it than others.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm not wonderful, but
Ezra,
now one thing we gotta avoid right here is the stamp, which is a collectible item that you need to complete the entire game. As you can see, we didn't get. Okay, we're not actually supposed to go up that. There's a warp right up there, but since we are not going to use that due to some stars that we need in a mystery house later in the game.
Yeah. Oh. Let's see.
There is stamps are collectible that you can get, and they used to be used for Miiverse on the Wii U for posts. Now you can use them for screenshots, but we want to avoid getting stamps because at the end of the level, we will get a menu popping up that shows us collecting the stamp, and it wastes about 4 seconds if you obtain the stamp. So we want to avoid getting that stamp as much as possible.
Yeah. That stamp is also the only stamp that is actively in the way. All the others will be easy to avoid. Small optimization in this mini boss is you're supposed to throw all 3 over there, but you can also break.
It's a pretty simple thing to do right there. Let's start quickly. Excuse me. You still there, Pretends?
Yes, can you hear me?
I don't know. Alright, so for this one, I didn't put my cat suit back on due to just kind of forgetting. For this level, there's a little skip that we can do at the end of it, and hopefully I don't screw it up. So as you can see, we just kind of move up here quickly, get this star.
Yeah, the skip's a lot easier when you don't
bounce pads.
have to get the stamp.
And climb up for this star. You might have to wait for those if you don't have items. I accidentally screwed that up there. I could fly all the way over here to this mystery box, which is where the 3rd star is. And instead of, as I mentioned, taking unconventional ways, I took damage there. I'm not going to restart the level. And I missed the star, so due to the time limit. So I'm going to I'm gonna restart the level and try that again. So there's some extra time lost there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is another disappointing thing because now I have to replay the level, and it kind of goes to show you that this game can be brutal sometimes. So
Yeah, but
it's a lot of
one
fun playing, but when you're doing full games run, major mistakes can really hurt your run. That's okay though, as long as we have fun, stay entertained, we're all good. Because
yeah,
there we go, that was a lot better. And I want to show off the skip. I can skip this bounce pad by just jumping over here to that platform, and then going all the way, and then doing that. And I'm going to avoid fireworks there.
Yeah, one thing to say though is that this game is a lot nicer than the
and now we have
Wii U
completed that
version.
level with a restart. We had to take 2 attempts to do that, unfortunately. But we're still in good shape. So this is a mystery house. We already seen the first one, but this one's going to be a little bit more demanding than the other one was. We're going to stick with Peach, even though she's not the optimal character. She's just more comfortable with me. For me. So we kind of just get that first star. I didn't do it very fast, but... this one is kind of a time trials mystery house. We gotta get through them, we gotta move through them. Luckily, since we have everything we need to, we don't need to take very much time, and it's not a challenge whatsoever. We just kind of go straight across, no need to. There isn't really much to take advantage of. You just kind of just go to the star.
I guess one thing trivia about this mystery house is originally
That's
in the
it.
Wii U version of the game, you could
All in all, not the most not the most impressive level in the world, but it's all about moving fast, which is pretty much the point of this. And a little optimization there. Instead of going back into the pipe to go back to this level, we just go to the world map instead. Now, we go back to this level, and that's because there's a warp to World 5 here that we're going to go back and do. We don't need to collect any stars because we already did that. We just have to go through the level now and go to the warp. And I hope I get a cat suit from this, because having a backup is great. No, but a Tanuki is a very useful item. There is a trick that you can do with the Tanuki called a Tanuki boost, where if you roll, like, kind of crouch boost off of a roll with the Tanuki, then you can gain very good speed instantly. But since we don't have a Tanuki, we're not going to use it. So now we're going to be going into our second Captain Toad level. This one is the spooky one. And pretty much just get the stars as fast as we can with what limitations Captain Toad has. And if you've played 3D World and like the concept of Captain Toad, on both Switch, 3DS, and the Wii U, there's a game called Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, so you can get an entire game worth of these kinds of levels. So if these kinds of levels entertain you. take some damage there to get past those guys. And you don't need to go in the last one. Fall down to that 1 star there, and we are done. What's the goal of this game? Since we don't have to play Peach, I'm going to answer some questions in chat. The goal of this game is that we are in a land called the Sprixie Kingdom, where there are 7 Sprixies that were captured by Bowser for I don't know the purpose, since it was never explained. But at the end of each world, there are Sprixies that we must save, and we are saving the Sprixies. And whoops, it's one of those right up there on top of the castle. I tried to use my gyro in the overworld that activates online multiplayer. So now here's a little route deviation. There's a Captain Toad in the first world, but since we didn't beat the second level, we took the warp. We can't actually get to this one, but there's a pipe you can take it from World 5 that allows us to get to this Captain Toad on the other side of World 1 without actually beating the second level and the sub-level following it. So we don't actually need to complete the entirety of World 1 to get here. You can take that route deviation that they put there. Not everyone knows about that. But in speedruns, we use it. So if you've ever played this game casually, there's something new you can learn. So there, I had to make that little cycle there. I'm going to wait on these guys. Now we've got all of those. Feel free to ask questions in chat. I'm reading it as I play the game. If I miss anything, I'm sorry. So now we're going to go back to World 5. And we're going to get right back to the action. Yeah, pretends to know, got disconnected somehow. So I'm taking most of the commentary. Whoops. Luckily we just preserve our item by just restarting it. Not a major time loss there. Destroy that with our gyro to get that 1st star. Climb up this tree, scratch, get that guy without having to go up into that pipe. We can get this guy's Koopa shell, run into this little thing where this is, and I missed it. I'm sorry, I can't get, I don't have it right now. You can take the Koopa shell off of one of those Koopas and throw it into that little, dent there. I don't know what you call it. I cannot. Alrighty. So instead of actually having to go in there, where you can just throw the Koopa shell and it saves a few seconds. So here, this last one is right there, but we're gonna wait on that one. We're gonna get it after killing all these bitty buds. To save little Captain Toad, who we just saw earlier, from these, and he will give us a star.
Ezra, can you hear me now?
I missed that.
Ezra, can you hear me now?
So now we're going to end this level off with a Plessy ride, and our favorite little dinosaur. He's the only time you'll see him in this run. You will see him in 3 levels in the first 8 worlds. 1-4, which we don't play because we skip it. And this level, and 8-2, which we don't play because the other one is faster, because it's on a route deviation. So unfortunately, this is the only time you're going to see this little guy, or girl, whatever gender it is, I don't know. I'm not immersed in that knowledge. So enjoy him while she lasts. Did this turn into a Verizon advertisement? I'd like to know that too. Alright. Very short level here. I could bounce off that prone to save time, but I just didn't do it. So we're gonna, we accidentally got fireworks. I was gonna try to avoid on it. I don't think I said, can you hear me now? My return stream must not be working because I can't hear the tones, as he said earlier in chat. So I'm kind of taking the lead here. 5-2 was a level we used to play in the Wii U version. But they fixed it. So now we no longer play 5-2 because now we substitute the stars for 4-4, which we played earlier. Could pounce. Actually, nah, I'm not going to restart the level. There's a cat suit in the next level, so there's no need to restart. This is not an endorsement by any cell phone company. I am not sponsored. This is not the point of it. This is a charity. I'm not paid. I'm doing this entirely for free. I don't run off of Verizon or Sprint. I run on TASBot. That's what I run off of. That's the only self-streaming service that matters. And you just climb up the wall for that. Instead of going back down and going into these cannons, which shoot you up there, I'm actually just gonna skip them and climb up the wall instead, which we can now do, based off the extended wall climbs that the Nintendo Switch version gave us. So now I'm gonna get this little guy. I can use my gyro to pause him, and as I've shown with explaining with the vectoring and the crouch boosting to gain lots of speed very quickly, we can just kind of go past that without taking the cannon, which is usually faster, and just kind of skip that wall as well. Now we're gonna get. Dang it! I accidentally took damage and I accidentally died. I got the checkpoint, so we're okay. So you get to see me vector and crouch boost a little bit more. I got the star, so I'm just gonna go for the flagpole. Okay, not that far off. Oh, and you can use ZL to kind of attach off the wall to get some more height if you need. We just go to that flagpole. Unfortunately, I did die based off that mistake there. Oh, and oh, why did I need to do that? I got the cat suit back by 4. Okay, so in this level, the boards switch here, which can make it frustrating, because if you screw up your timing, you will need to pause and jump back again. So we need to be sure not to mess anything up. And this radiation thing right here, which emits those little lasers, we can use our touch screen. Not our touch screen. You can use it if you're in handheld mode, but I'm not. You can use your gyro. use our gyro to collect those those star coins without actually having to move and go get them manually. Sorry for the pause there. So that's another thing we can.
Luigi time. Let's go.
So normally you're supposed to go there, and but we can fly past that. And there's actually something you can do. You can just go all the way up here and use the bullet bill to jump off of it up onto the star with Luigi. But since I've never really been comfortable doing that, I'm not going to. You do have to, you want to avoid those spotlights because they send out bullet bills after you, but we don't really care because we're trying to go fast and we don't have enough time to worry about all those things. So we get this little spring guy here, and that way we can bounce off the spring up onto here, dive into that little hole where the star is, and if I can actually get out, save ourselves some time by not having to climb up that whole little thing.
Meow.
So, so now we have 5 castle, which at the end contains
Luigi time.
a boss fight that is also pretty much just a joke because he's really easy. So here we just got to navigate as best as we can through these little rotating guys, and here we can use our little we can use gyro to quickly collect those coins faster than normal. And I'm slowing down a little bit just to be more comfortable. And I'm gonna quickly grab that guy here. I'm gonna wait on this guy. I don't want to take damage, so I'm playing it safe, and then we climb up to this 3rd star. Alright, so here's the boss fight. You kind of just wait for it to fall over. Do it correctly just by staying as minimal as possible. And you should pretty much hit him every single time he falls down. Super easy. It's pretty much a meme. Not really hard to do at all. Yeah, and that's pretty much the easiest boss fight in this game. So yeah, that's it for World 5. What I want to say is World 5 is pretty much where the run starts, in my opinion. Everything else is just preparation. I cannot pronounce my words today. Everything else is preparation for World 5 and beyond, because that's where the difficulty levels and the expectations start to really ramp up, and the game actually gets somewhat challenging after this point. So you're going to see a lot of runs might have a really tight early game, but as the game continues, you will see a lot of slip-ups, and a lot of mistakes happening more or less in the late game, because in the middle of it, because one, you've been playing for a while, you're kind of worn out, so this is where the run really starts, in my opinion, as it gets more challenging. But after all, we're speedrunners, so we gotta do it fast. Either way. And we're gonna skip this pipe. I could fly right past it, but we're not going to. I'm gonna climb up that wall and spare a few seconds there, just to do that, because sometimes I die climbing up that wall. not climbing up, going beside it. Now, another example of how unconventional that we can do taking this route. This pipe is really annoying due to these moving fuzzies here, but we can actually, like, not... Those are actually optional with what we do in speedruns. We do not have to do these. And if you can get Pretends back on, he can do the rest of World 8 if he can. I feel weird saying that live. He's been out for a little bit. Thank you, Adrian, for the confidence there. The encouragement, too. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your username correctly.
Luigi time. Let's go.
For this one, you can take advantage of your gyro to use these guys, get them out of there quicker. Or you can dive on them, scratch them into the... get them out of there. Get that first star. And in that box, we can go get the second star in the little other area, but we do not need it, so we don't go for it. You used to on the Wii U, but that is no longer something we need anymore in this 2021 version of this game on the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, you can let Pretends take the rest of World 6 over for me. Just to let him make it up for him since he's been out for a bit. So Pretends is going to take over commentary for a while now. As he's been out, I want to make it up to him.
Okay. Well, welcome back. We never said this was a glitchless run, but... Okay. So this next level is a cycle-based level with these rafts that Ezra's going to be going on. However, though, we're going to ignore most of them. Right now, Ezra is trying to get to a star as fast as he can. Because if he waits at the pipe and goes in at the right time, I believe it's 378, he can come out on the other end with the star, and it saves a few seconds than going through it the forwards way. Grabs this second star to using the touch screen, and then yeah, okay, good. And catching that cycle on that raft isn't difficult, but it's also not free. So climb up there, grab that third star, and that will conclude that level. So with that done out of the way, he's going to move on to the mini boss of this world. The mini boss is Prince Bully. Like the bullies that we were dealing with in 6-2. Oh, it looks like Ezra dropped a little bit, but there he goes. Well, this is actually the only RNG in the game, because when you push the bully into a pipe, which pipe he comes out of is RNG, and generally you want him to come out of one on the same side so you don't get the longer animation of him circling around to the other side. That looked like that was pretty RNG, but it's no major loss. Okay, so with that done, we're going to cross over to the other half of the world now. This part In the Wii U version, we go for the ice level. However, though, because of how the physics work in this game, this level's better now. So we're going to. It's a cat climbing level, and also.
I do want to correct you on one thing though.
I'm sorry.
On the Wii U's, people usually didn't go for 6-5 unless they were like top level, because it was hard.
Yeah, and fortunately, this is also a catsuit level, so the death isn't, at least, isn't as bad as it could be. But yeah, what Ezra was going for is, it is fast, from the first star, it's faster to cat dive instead of taking the warp block. However, though, if you're not taking it, it's faster to just take, if you don't need star 1, it's faster to take the block. So now he's going after, you know, flying over most of the rest of the level so he can get the last star, and then he's going to get this flag and just avoided fireworks.
There's a skip next level, but I'm not gonna go for it. Explain it anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I guess I can talk about it since it's an auto-scroller, but there's an interesting thing about most auto-scrollers in this game is that auto-scrollers, they have that, even though the camera doesn't move, in most of them, the character can still move past them. So this will be really important in the last level, but and the reason Ezra's not going for it right now is because even though you're off screen, the kill boxes are still active, so it's easy to die. And then, so you can move past most of this level without off screen, and if you hit certain points, it will force the camera to catch up. It's for this particular level, I would not call it marathon safe.
Yeah, this level can be risky if you go for all the strats.
So and then after that, that's pretty much it. Just bounce our way to the flagpole.
Fireworks.
Nice.
And since 6 Castle is an auto-scroller, we have time for donation. But not this level. We have another one, though.
Right. Well, I mean, this one... Yeah, this is the most broken level in the game. The goal is to throw things, to collect or make stars appear, and if you blink, you'll miss it because the touch gyro can also interact with all those things. So each of these will probably take less than a second. And honestly, by the time I'm done with this sentence, if this level will probably be done. That was a little off, but still.
There's actually kind of a meme with involving me getting 0 in this level back in the Wii U, and it became a joke in the Wii U community. Not the Wii U community, the 3D World community.
So yeah, now
we have time for donations now.
Yes, this is gonna be like a 2-minute auto scroller, and there's only one point where we can force where Ezra can force it ahead.
Immense donations.
All right, we have no donations currently, but we do want to give a friendly little reminder of what Nami does to our general community. As always, donations are available at
Please donate. I'm sure there's some wild incentive that
While
you can
we
go
wait-
for. And
If you have any
now you can go
blurs,
back.
a little bit of a challenge because you have to throw a bomb at the block, and sometimes the explosion's hitbox doesn't get the block. Also, there's the auto scroll force I was talking about. Unfortunate hit though, but it should be fine. But yeah, get this final star, and then you're supposed to use that last bomb to blow that wall to get the stamp, but you know we don't need them, so we just go take care of Boom Boom. This fight is basically the same in the sense that if anything's changed in his attack pattern, we're not gonna give him enough time to show it off.
And another thing, you saw me throw the catsuit out while exiting the pipe. You have a little bit of time to do that. It can save just a little bit of time, so you don't have to do it after the cutscene.
Also, isn't there? I forget if this is true or not, but isn't there a thing like if you change power-ups before the cutscene, it will, or right after the cutscene, it'll give you a second to get in a hit before they start moving?
Change power scenes before. There is. You can change power-ups during the cutscene. Well, throw them out during the cutscene, but change after the cutscene. But I don't think there's a way to get a second power-up out of it. There is item duplication, but it's not useful in any percent. Hopefully, I understood what you were saying.
Yeah, I meant I thought it like freezes the pom pom or boom boom for like a split second.
The power-up animation does freeze. So you do have that. You still have that moment.
Luigi time! Fight the time!
This boss is the Motley Blob boss. Basically, outrun him, and then when he does his last hit, get in there before he can run off. The big secret
This
to
is my
him is
least favorite boss.
yeah. Big secret to him is stay in the corners, because run around the corners because he can't turn corners that well. Also, you want to avoid the double cherry as much as possible because all that does is add extra time transitioning into the fight after this.
And that is it for World 6.
Yep.
World 7 is probably the most tedious and annoying part of the game.
It is, and the primary reason is because In the entire world, there is only one cat bell.
So if you lose your cat, you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah, it's either toad house hunting or itemless, and both have their pros and cons.
Now, as you'll see, it's actually called World Castle, but us speedrunners refer it as World 7.
Luigi time. Let's go.
And I did not mean to use Luigi.
Yeah, this one, yeah, the reason you wanted, that Ezra wanted Peach for this is because, that enemy that he just defeated, Peach can skip it and just fly all the way to that checkpoint, but...
And it allows me to also skip that little pipe that I'm into.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's not a major time loss, but it would have been cool.
You can skip that with Luigi, although it's faster with Peach.
Yeah, I think about everyone can skip that except maybe Toad.
Well, yeah, you need a lot of build-up speed, which you can't really get in that small space.
Yeah.
And he has the lowest jump.
Yeah. Anyway, so the next level is red hot run. It's a like 100-second dash level. The goal of the level is, you know, use the pads to get to the other end as fast as speed pads get to the other end as fast as possible. However, the issue with speed pads is they don't actually give you acceleration. They set you at a certain speed for a set amount of time that's faster than your sprint speed. However, though, that's slower than the speed you build crouch boosting. So it's better to skip as many of those as you can, at least for the first half. And the second half too, but...
Now, as you can also see, I did use my gyro to collect those coins.
Also, quickly to comment from someone in the chat, John Gabriel, I do agree this is an awesome soundtrack as well.
Agreed as well.
So yeah, purpose of this level is to time it so you can get on the arrow blocks, you know, but with Peach, you can just float over most of them. And then, second half of the level, it is quite similar, except for there's also spikes on the round blocks, but it's not much of an issue if you can cycle it right. And for this last part, you're supposed to defeat those bullies, but because Peach builds up enough speed and floats, you can just jump straight on the flagpole. So next up is a fork in the road. Ezra's going to take the left half. The reason is the levels are faster on the left half, and also there's a Captain Toad on the left half, which will give us 5 stars, which means that overall there's more stars altogether. So the right half has long
This
swimming
is the
item.
worst sub-level, too.
Yeah. Basically,
Skip
there's
World 4.
Oh,
Oh, did I not? I'm gonna restart.
yeah. It. By the way, I guess fun trivia fact: the boss that Ezra's fighting right now is the same boss that would have been if he had completed World 4. I guess it just a little copy pasted. The reason Ezra is getting restarting is because the next level, there is a cat suit in it, but after that, it's requires like it's a lot of work, and it's going to require. There's a good chance he will need to use that extra cat suit as a safety belt.
I cannot get it.
Ugh.
I don't really care if I lose a bunch of time. This is annoying.
Yeah, it's
Oh my god. It's like it. He's got my number.
I did not know he was that good of a sniper.
He is. Okay. See, I told you this is annoying. I don't care if I lose a bunch of time, but you can laugh at me, but this is hard.
Believe me, I
It really
couldn't
isn't,
laugh.
but it's
I couldn't laugh without laughing at myself too.
fine. Okay. That was annoying. Every single Super Mario 3D World speedrunner hates 7.
Oh. Yeah.
That level.
Anyway. So yeah. This level is where we get to, Ezra gets to show off a cool little vectoring trick after the second star. Also, I forgot when I said earlier there's one stamp directly in the way. I forgot that one also can get directly in the way too. But he'll use the touch cursor.
It's usually not an issue.
Yeah. And then what he does here is he does a long jump at an angle, and when you do that you accelerate, and that just gave him extra distance. Also, Ezra's clearing out these enemies because it'll make coming back down this tower much faster. And grabs the third star. Alright, so now he has to outrun this noxious gas. And then get into the warp block. I guess trivia fact, if you don't go into the warp block, even if you escape the noxious gas, the lava rises. But that is that is the level, and we will be now using the way to go to the last Captain Toad in any percent.
Also, since Cosmic is going next on this marathon, I want to give him a shout out for being nice to the 3D World community.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we're gonna use a lot of touch screen abuse.
Yeah, Ezra can hold the swamps in place. And so what that'll do is that'll allow him to not have to wait on cycles to get to the next one. And then other than that, he just...
forgot that one.
Well, it's not the worst. You caught it before you got too far.
Oh, dang it. Fell down.
Oof. That is...
That's okay, though.
Yeah,
We'll just hold everything in place until we need it.
and the last star is down the hole. Alright, this next level has, is a lava level, and it has rising and lowering tides. Fortunately, as with most things with cycles in this game, Ezra's going to be ignoring almost all of them, because he can just fly over them. One thing to note here is you're supposed to grab that first star with the boomerang, but because Peach can reach it with her float, we don't have to pick up the boomerang yet. And now... Oh. Alright, and Ezra skipped like 2/3 of the level, so we're done.
And I have a cat suit for 7 castle. If we didn't, it would be really annoying to get the second star.
Yes, I'll explain more about it in a second when we get to it, but this is going to be in any percent. There's 2 other items that show up that we use besides the cat suit, and one is the boomerang, and it's naturally only because we need it for a star, and it also makes this other star that Ezra is about to get a little bit easier, because with the cat suit you have to slide. The cat has more friction, so it makes it a little slower. That star that Ezra just got, if you don't have a cat suit, you have to find another way up there, because even if you lower the bridge, which he didn't, that star doesn't come down. And then that third star...
Yeah, and you have to do a very precise wall cape. It's very hard, very annoying.
Yes. And that third star was what the boomerang was used for, and that's the only reason we pick it up in the entire game.
And I accidentally took damage, but there's cat suits in the next level. And this boss fight's a joke, and he will explain why.
Okay, Bowser throws soccer balls at you. You can throw soccer balls back with the touch gyro. It takes... So you don't have to... Basically, you can just sit there and wait for him to beat... Bowser to beat himself.
It's a joke.
Why are you hitting yourself?
And we have time for donations.
All right, we don't have any donations quite yet, but we would like to take a minute to remember what TASGiving 2021 is all about. TASGiving 2021 benefits NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. NAMI has become the nation's leading voice on mental health, providing awareness and support to those in need. TASBot's community and NAMI have come together to bring you this event. You can learn more about NAMI at nami.org. That's NAMI.org.
Thank you. Please donate and help out.
It's a good cause.
Thirsty. And now we're going to our final world. This one is called World Bowser, but we colloquially, I cannot pronounce it. We know it as World 8 because we don't say the full name. It's too hard.
Yeah. Also, fun trivia fact. The reason why Bowser kidnapped the Sprixies is because he uses them as a power source for that tower. Anyway, back to the lore that probably doesn't even... Back to the run. This level is, much like the lava level, Peach can make quick work of it by floating over most of the obstacles. Also, the reason why Ezra's skipping most of the warp boxes is because it's slower than the warp boxes are slower than actually just going around them. And also here he's trying to get in a unfortunate loss to friction there, but when you die, you get to keep the stars you already collected as long as you don't leave or restart the level. So this is now just a go to the flagpole. And since there's cat bells along the way, it shouldn't be any major loss.
And now you just go straight to it.
Yep.
Cosmic is requesting a Peach die. I'm sorry, I didn't give it to you. You will see it in this level, though.
Nice. Yeah, this level is about sugar and rotating and cookies. Fortunately, most of the cookies aren't detrimental, and with the cat suit, you can climb around most obstacles. We will be getting all the so yeah, and then okay, so now he's going into the box and okay, and then just
There's a way to do that faster, but it's too hard.
Yeah, you can jump.
Well, a new strat was just discovered, but I haven't practiced it.
Yeah, you can jump for that star before the cookie rotates, but it's not it is not always RTA safe. Ooh, unfortunate miss there, but all I'll say is Ezra got a lot closer than I have to making that jump. That is a pretty consistent jump. So,
Because I didn't get my height that I wanted.
yeah.
I knew that I was gonna die. There we go.
I guess since this is the last one, I'll bring it up. One of my favorite things about this game as a Mario game is that you can catch the bunnies with the touch cursor. Anyway, Ezra should be on the train now. It is an auto scroller. Unfortunately, unlike the other train, there is no second train to weave through to force the auto scroller. So Ezra's just collecting the stars and running through the level. Also, unfortunately, the trick I mentioned earlier about getting ahead of the auto scroller, this level does not have an opportunity to do that. If there is time for donations or a blurb, we have an opportunity for you.
Once again, we invite you all to go donate to the National Alliance on Mental Illness. They're doing great things for the bettering the lives of millions of Americans affected by it on a daily basis. Once again, you can learn more about NAMI at nami.org.
Okay, so this time we'll see if Ezra can get the early hit because he has a cat suit. This is another pom-pom fight.
Didn't get it. Unfortunately, you won't be seeing that again.
Also, it's a lot harder to find the right sparkle trail because there's a lot more clones. But damageless is damageless.
Alrighty. Whoops. Accidentally went to the home menu there.
Okay, so
Personally, this is my least favorite of World 8.
It's my least favorite as well, but it also has probably the coolest concept. But yeah, goal is you need
Gonna take
to,
it safe.
Yeah. Floor is only visible in those spots right there. I mean, even though it's always solid. So the big deal is Ezra's, for the most part, knows where everything is supposed to be, so he can just maneuver around the level.
I'm gonna restart that.
So,
But if you were a lot less of a coward than I was, you could navigate this level really fast.
yeah, I guess the only other thing to really mention about this level is this third block's trivia fact. That thwomp is the only will not most of the time the enemies despawn in a mystery box after you collect the star. That one doesn't, because if you fall off, they want you to have a way to get back up.
You know what's insane to think about is that this game would have been beaten 6 minutes already on the world record. This world so fast that this game was beaten 6 minutes ago on the world record.
Yeah. Well, you're still going at a good pace. I think
149.
149. Okay. I was gonna guess sub
Still.
150. So anyway, back
Yeah,
to
that's pretty good.
back to this. This level is quite fun to cheese. It is also one of the most saddest levels in 380 Star, because you have to play it as Luigi. And while Luigi can do most of this stuff, he's not quite as good at it as Peach is.
And there's a nice trick in this level that I'm not going for. At the very end, yeah.
Ah.
You know what the trick is?
I assume you're talking about the platform skip.
Dry bones skip, yeah.
Okay, are you going for the candlestick edition, or are you playing it safe?
No, safe.
That is perfectly reasonable. Generally not seen as marathon safe. You can fly over the entirety of the last obstacles by jumping from dry bones to dry bones. The issue is, though, is that if you miss, you die, and with only one cat suit, it would not only make the rest of this level miserable, it would make the basically the rest of the game miserable, because we're almost out of cat suits along the way.
There is ones in the next mystery house, though.
Oh, right. I forgot about the mystery house.
Yeah, and I can swoop past that ghost by scratching it. It doesn't kill it, it just disables it.
It's faster to swipe at Ghost than it is to kill Ghost with the lamp, because the lamp takes time. So yeah, this mystery house, the goal of it is use the cat suit as much as you can. So this is a lot about, the main theme of this one is climbing. It's also a great breather, because everything before this is pretty intense, and everything after this is pretty intense as well. All right, and we're almost done. So, and also a little fun thing you can do at the end of these things is Ezra tried to jump to his death, but the cutscene will trigger and automatically put you wherever you want. So nobody actually tries to die, but they try to see how far they can get away from the spot. Anyway, I guess fun little trivia fact is it's slightly faster to map warp from the ghost house to the start and walk to the next level rather than to take the pipe back. At this next level is a bunch of crystal blocks. Ezra is going to be skipping most of them because Peach can float over them. However, though, at the end there is going to be one he needs to take because he'll need to get the star that's in the path.
Faster for most people.
Yeah, I guess
I just want my backup.
Yeah, I mean, also, but yeah, also a little trivia fact about those blocks is if you ground pound on them, they get angrier and they will rotate faster. That's why Ezra always starts out with the ground pound. And tries to fit in a couple like every 4 hits because that's how long it takes to wear off.
I don't do them everywhere because they can be risky.
I agree, especially since one thing I've noticed is that the physics of these blocks are a little jankier in the Switch version, which really annoys me.
It's easy to die. Especially that third star and that last little rotation of it.
Agreed. Well, but yeah, I hope y'all liked Peach because, unless, at least for most runs, this is the last time she shows up.
Yeah, this will be the last time she shows up.
So yeah, next up is we have to defeat 2 bosses that, in order to open the way to the last level, even if Ezra already had 170 stars, he would need to defeat these bosses. This first one is the Motley Blob boss again. This time he also has energy rings that deal damage. So he is a little harder, but otherwise the same tricks that worked on the first one will still pretty much work on this one.
I took damage, but that's why I have my backup. I'm on the wrong end. Oh, here's a little tracking Odyssey. They added that in from the Super Mario Odyssey into the Switch version. It doesn't appear into the Wii U version where you can go down the pipe fast.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame too, because that would have been good for the Wii U version. So yeah, next up is a redux of the snake fight. However, though, doing a ground pound jump Odyssey dive works exactly the same as it did the first time. So any other differences in the boss fight don't show up other than this aristocrat is pink.
not in the actual boss fight. In the main game, but you will fight both Histocrat and Mistocrat in boss blitz, but this isn't in any percent.
So yeah, with that, Ezra has all 170 stars, and since he's beaten both bosses, the pathway to the final level will open.
Alrighty. You can explain Meowser skip, which I'm not going for. Obviously.
Meowser skip is if you bring a Tanuki leaf into this final level, you can, well, first off, you can skip like the first third of this level by building up speed with a Tanuki speed boost and flying over it. And then Meowser skip itself is right before the right after the second star. You can do it again. This was also doable in the Wii U version, but it was they tried to patch it by adding death zones. You can still fly around them, but it's a lot tighter. So it is safer to just take the ferry and
It's only done in the world record.
Yeah.
The only run that does it. And another... This didn't happen now, but on the Wii U, if you did Meowser skip, the music would stop.
Here though, it's going to be an auto scroller for the first half. Basically, dodge Meowser and then go after. And then what's going to happen is he's going to get a chance. He's going to hit an invisible wall, and then when Meowser lands at a specific spot, he's going to be able. The wall's going to disappear, and he'll be able to hit Meowser.
And another thing to note, if you saw the star coin ring there, this is the final level, so there's no need to get any star.
Oh, hang on, Ezra. Can you hear us? One thing to note about Phase 2 is Meowser uses a double cherry.
I'm going to pause until the video comes back.
You're back.
Okay.
So yeah, earlier when I talked about auto-scrolling skip, this is where it's really you just went out again, but this is where okay, you're back again. But this is where this is where it comes in really useful, is because there's no stop for this climb. So Ezra's just climb.
I failed it, but I can skip it.
Yeah, he can just climb up from anywhere. There is no
But here,
ceiling.
I'll showcase it anyway.
Yeah.
See how I skipped that?
Yeah, you can do that from
I could have just done it the
anywhere.
whole thing. And then I play it safe here. You can skip this, but I'm not going to because it's hard.
I have walked off those stairs many times.
And I took damage, but it doesn't matter.
And this point, it's probably a time save since you won't.
Nah, because I paused there.
Yeah.
But
well,
I don't
meant-
have to wait on the flagpole.
Yeah.
It's not going to be sub 1/5, but it's still a good time. Time will end as soon as I hit the flagpole. As soon as the score appears. One final cutscene.
So yes, the 5 Sprixies and cough only 5 Sprixies celebrate that they are free. And we go up.
Yeah, no, not 7 because we skipped the world.
Yep.
Alright, timing in as soon as I hit the flagpole. Time.
And done. All right, I think all in all that was pretty good. Anything under 2 hours, I always consider an ace run.
I was 5 minutes behind my PB, but it was still a really good run. Bob Cato, the Luigi is the superstar.
All right, we'd like to thank you guys for a great run. We're going to move right into
Thank you
a
so
really
much.
interesting Super Mario World speedrun here with Cosmic.